The new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, has accused the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, and main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, of plotting to induce voters as well as purchase permanent voters' card to compromise the 2023 general elections. The chairman of the party in Kano State, Garba Diso, and his secretary, Hamisu Sadi Ali, made the allegation in a communique issued at the end of a workshop for NNPP candidates for federal and state offices. Recall that despite commencement of both presidential and governorship campaigns, the NNPP, as well as a host of other emerging political parties, are yet to commence campaigns across the country, hence making it look like a two-horse race between the PDP and APC. Hello and welcome to Daily Politics. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight on the program, we will be speaking with the national chairman of the NNPP, Professor Rufai Alkali, as he talks to us about issues in his party, where they are in terms of their campaigns, as well as his take on the allegations made by the Kano State chapter of his party. Welcome to the program, Prof.
Thank you, Haji Hamza. You're looking good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. We will take a short break, and when we return, the conversation commences.
This is the road leading up to the Lokoja Bridge from Abuja. And as you can see, tankers carrying fuel, trucks carrying livestock, perishables, and commuters trying to make their way from point A to point B have all been slowed down as a result of the flooding going on in Lokoja.
As I tell you, so my house is inside water like this.
This is my house. Big Grizzly is my house.
We have no option than to come here and look for what we chop.
This water have really spoiled many things. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm not in my own house.
I want to encourage them and assure them that their government, the governor they elected, had come to see them. And government officials have been going there to see them. They are not in this alone. We are with them.
Welcome back. We have in the studio, as I said, Professor Rufai Alkali, the national chairman of NNPP. Prof, once again, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we were shocked when we saw the communique of your party after a meeting of candidates at the national and state levels of plans by the two, should I say, major parties, trying to induce voters ahead of the 2023 elections. How did you arrive at that?
Well, thank you very much. Again, I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Once again, yeah.
Yes, and I always start by commending the management of the trust stable, the leadership, and the staff for holding this project, this idea, very tight, and you have been advancing day by day. Now, in your opening remark, you did say that because maybe for one reason or the other, then now either you or somebody is beginning to think that it's going to be a two-horse race.
Well, people are saying.
Well, I'm talking to you, are the one I'm talking to, not yes. people now.
Yes,
I'm talking to you. But the last time I checked, there are 18 political parties in under the register of the INEC, and we are the 18 political parties that also did our primaries and congresses and national conventions and produce our candidates. and that every political party has its own agenda.
Yeah.
Every political party has its own plans. Every political party has its own ways of carrying out its activities. So as you can see, in the past 3 weeks or so, they've been running around helter-skelter by some of the political parties, trying to impress Nigerians.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a sort of showmanship. But in the process, what you can call the two old political parties and have been getting difficulties in how they are managing their affairs. Nigerians are very watchful.
Okay.
They are not looking at only the campaigns, but they are looking at also the drama, all the kind of grandstanding, all the kind of intrigues that is going inside some of those that claim to be the largest political parties in the country. Before you go to a campaign or start running a campaign, first of all, you put your house in order. And I can bet you that some of the political parties, their houses are not in order.
They just jump.
If you see a situation where, I have said that before, I want to repeat it because it's so strong that so important, so critical that several governors, about 5 or more, including former governors, will come and say they don't want to be a part of a campaign for a presidential candidate. It speaks volume.
You are referring to PDP now. Yeah.
Well, thank you for assisting me in that direction. So basically, you find that that alone is demarcating the party on a daily basis, the kind of exchange of words, you know, revelations, you know, all kind of bad blood. It is within the parties that I'm talking about. Now, the other political parties also that have come up with their campaign council, every day you hear stories. People who want to be part of the campaign council are being included there, and some of them are pulling out, are rejecting. The question is that our impression is that these people, like, they are doing as if it is like a desperate thing. That now that the opportunity has been brought, so let's do it anyhow, even without a lot of thoughts, without planning, without thinking. And so far, it has been counterproductive. We have, from 28th of September, when the INF formally announced that political parties can start their campaign, to the day of election on 25th of February, it's more a period of 5 months. And that if you want to do something, do it well.
Okay.
But this trying to pretend that all is well with them and they want to grab power by stealth, by any method. That is what is now becoming an issue in most of these political parties.
So if I get you, Prof, well, starting campaign is not the end thing. It's not just the means to an end.
No, maybe you are looking at a campaign only when you see people shouting and dancing around and jumping around. That is campaign. That's not.
Okay.
Every political party has also a strategy of reaching out. And when we formally want to come out also, we'll do it in a way, a manner that people will know that we are very serious people. And so I think so far we are good to go. We are organized. Our presidential candidates is hardworking and dedicated. Remember, long before even the campaign started, he came up with an idea which was unique. Later on, some tried to clone it by saying that, look, yes, they started cloning.
Like this is season of cloning. Just 2 days ago,
thank you again.
You know,
so
APC accused PDP.
The thinking is that there are so many states that he, for example, had not visited for some time. There are people that have been touched for one reason or another. Either so many things you need to re-engage with the people of Nigeria. That's why the first almost 6 weeks or 7 weeks, he goes around the country, visit people, show solidarity with them, commiserate with them when they are affected by one thing or the other, and then go ahead to open offices. At that time, it was not campaign because there were no flags that are being raised, no gubernatorial candidates' hands are being raised, not even sitting position, just to pay courtesy calls in the family among Nigerians.
To fraternize.
And they visit elders and leaders, emir, chiefs, and the rest of it. So this is one of the strategy which was very unique to Senator Rabi Musa Konkoso. And I've been doing this quietly. Now suddenly people realize, so he's doing this, we'll also start doing it. Now everything is like a rat race.
And probably you are now trying to change maybe the pattern.
No. For us, it's a continuation.
Okay.
We have our own ways of doing things. So as we are going now, you see so many changes taking place very soon, and then we are on top of the situation.
Okay. The question I asked earlier, is it part of, is it fear or is really genuine concern, the communique issued by the party in respect to vote buying?
There is for most Nigerians, I think, over the years, they believe rigging takes place on the day of election. That is the popular feeling, the popular belief.
Okay.
But election does not take place on election day alone.
Rigging, yeah.
Rigging,
wow.
It does not take place on election day. Yes, maybe it could be the climax. It is the ultimate. Okay. But every step a political party takes to undermine other political parties or undermine the electoral process is part of rigging. For example, during the Ekiti and the Osun elections, we heard that, and it was shown also, there were evidences, people negotiating and selling and purchasing voters during the elections. Okay? So it means that it was for the highest bidder. So if you cannot afford 10,000, then you give 5,000. If you cannot, you give 2,000. And we felt that was one of the dirtiest aspects of Nigerian politics, that openly people could go and do that without shame. But now, coming to the point you are mentioning, is that again some people felt that the best way is, why do you have to wait until the election day when people are watching, everybody is seeing you? Why not go and mop up voters' cards from Nigerians? Give them whatever you can give them, so that first you have saved them the trouble of going to the polling booth.
They did not even go.
Two, you have also saved yourself the embarrassment of going to negotiate in front of the public, or So, and for our gullible Nigerians, some of them allow themselves to be carried along, and then paid something pittance, and then their voters' cards are taken away. Now it means that that's the end of it, and that voters' card is not for only one election; it's for all the elections.
After collecting.
No, so if you lose the voters card, you cannot do for the presidential, and you cannot do for National Assembly, you cannot do for governorship, you cannot do for House Assembly, and you can do for any subsequent election, because they will not retrieve your card back to you, because that card is personal to you, provided by ANEC. So once you sell it, it's not something I can go and get somewhere in a Mami market, So why should people allow this? Now, okay, the argument is that there is poverty, there is literacy, and the rest of it. But a political party that is promising something good for the country should not also exploit this ignorance and poverty, and then hype it further expose them to more danger. Because by the time you are disenfranchised, you become irrelevant in the political process.
But don't you think these people who are doing this are really working out of ignorance, considering what INEC said, that with the beavers and other, innovations, it will be very difficult for Mr. B to go and vote on behalf of Mr. A?
Maybe you are looking at two possibilities. You are thinking that, yes, that maybe some people can use the voters' card that they have purchased to go and vote. It's possible, but it's very difficult under the arrangement you are talking about, under the new regime of beavers and all this kind of technology that INEC is introducing. But the other one is not a question of just using the card to vote. No.
Okay.
No, the question, when you mop up from a constituency, high density area, it means that already people will not go to vote in that.
Oh my God.
So it means that already.
So it's like a new.
That's what I'm saying. That is so. But for a political party, when you see one sign of a problem, you don't want to wait until it becomes very big. You don't want to allow it to escalate. So the moment you see and you see the signs, you raise your voice. And then fortunately, in this country, we have so many security agencies. Some of them, they are up and doing. Some of them are on the ground. There is no state you cannot have the full complement of security agencies responsible for assisting the electoral process. And therefore, we have been raising our voice, let them not take this thing for granted. Because if you want to have a free and fair and transparent elections, then it means every Nigerian vote must count. And that the only way it must count is that he should be told, and that is why we are telling Nigerians, please don't sell your cards.
Voter card. But Prof, I'm really worried with this statement you made because I'm just coming to terms with it.
Yes.
Initially, many Nigerians believe that, okay, taking the voters card is just to now maybe go and give others to go and vote. But you can see it's more damaging to even discourage people not to go out and vote.
It's not even discouraged, because if you discourage, it means that there's a possibility that the person can vote.
No,
it's disenfranchised.
Oh.
So we are saying that, and some time ago somebody was caught. It was over 300 voters card in Kano.
Yes.
So it is, people are not crying, just shouting like that. And why Kano? And why in northern states of Nigeria? Why in other states of the southern part of the country where the high density population is properly targeted? It's not only Kano, but any high density states where you find that some political parties are making wave, have the chances of winning elections, then they will just go and target that. Normally, we shouldn't have been speaking about this. For strategy reasons, we would have kept it quite quiet and then fight it from using other methods. But it is, if you allow it, it's going to become rampant.
That is why it's very important. Even the credibility of the election.
Yes. So INEC cannot be everywhere watching everybody. They have done their own. They are doing their own. But security agencies, like I said, they have full complement of security agencies.
But what do you think should be done? Because thousands of voters' cards have been taken away already. Is it that maybe clerics, traditional rulers should now encourage people to confess so that INEC can reissue them? Because I think damage has been done to some extent.
Well, that is a different matter. But what I know is that the second aspect of your statement is very important, that all influencers, all community leaders, you know, everybody who can say something and do something to solve this should do it. Because after all, if you're a community leader and you ignore it, the first victim is your own community, and then next you. Then it will affect you directly. So that's why it's better to say it now, and then raise the tempo. Let people know that it's not going to happen. It's not happening in Kano. It can happen anywhere. And remember, we have a period of almost 4 months from now before the elections, and assuming that it's being done on a daily basis, you know, it can affect everybody. Therefore, you find that while INEC may have a number of a number of voters, over 90-something million voters. But when you come to during the election, by the time you do the accreditation, you find that a constituency that has a large number of voters, they may not be appear. And then you begin to wonder, they will dismiss that it's voters' apathy. But it's not voter apathy.
Okay.
Yes, because it can be dismissed easily as voter apathy.
But people don't want to.
But if you have already sold your card, there's no apathy there now. It is already deliberate. So, especially our people who are in the rural areas, some struggling to survive by the day, and the exposure is too much. It's not even fair. So there is the double jeopardy. First, the person is already poor because of some of the policies that have been forced onto them for over the years. And now, while they are trying to get an option that will liberate them, now you're again trying to take that power from them. So it is anti-democratic, actually.
Sometimes we keep, accusing the system. When I say system, like INEC now, you can see the investment they have been making over time. But Nigerians, I'm really shocked.
Well, that's why we say that this is only one aspect now we are seeing. As we progress, other issues may also emerge. Anything
we hope you will keep unraveling them for the betterment of the country.
And the good thing is that the level of communication in the country is much higher now. So whatever happens in one part of the country, other parts of the country will also know. And then political parties are not like the old political parties who will take everything for granted. No, we are up and doing. Whenever we see a sign of problem, if it is we are the one to do something about it, we'll do it. But if something that has to be done by somebody, we'll raise it to the relevant quarters.
Okay. Is there a nexus between this and is it failure or inability of your candidate to appear before the northern elders in Kaduna? Because they invited your party, but Senator Konkoso was not there.
Well, I don't know why you are saying a failure. I think that should not be the way to say it, Alhaji Hamza. The issue here is that we are into politics now, okay? And therefore, every action, every inaction has meaning, has purpose, has relevance. If in the past, many years ago, when the issue of stakeholder meetings or some form of profiling of presidential candidates was introduced for Nigerians to see who are their potential leaders, and they should present themselves and even present some of their agenda, which is fine. But over the years, it is becoming somehow, even if the planners have good intentions, but politicians don't look, they go and look beyond at the planners.
Okay.
They also, so some of them may just be innocuous there, maybe innocent there. Some of them, of course, may be complicit in these issues. That when you arrange an event, at this stage, a political party must ask, why this particular location? Why particular this date? Why particular this time? Why particular these people that you are invited? Okay? Yeah. And then, what are the antecedents of those people who are invited this invitation? What is their connection with the system? What is their connection with the individual person? You know that. So this is a homework. I think some people misunderstood that Senator Konkoso was disrespectful to northern Nigeria leaders. Is not correct. Okay. It is completely not correct, because if there's one person who has shown a respect for our people in this country, he is one of the leading leaders in this country that have done everything to protect the system. First as a governor for 8 years, as a senator and as a minister. You have never seen him anything in controversial issues, taking decisions that are against the system, as it were. So by the time you invite somebody, and then let us look at it this way. First, you put a date for a program. Then later on, you shift it.
Okay.
Then after shifting to the day that you want somebody to come and present himself, then you organize a rally on the same day, in that same town, at the same place, when somebody is going to come and present his own case. How can you do simultaneously? The entire environment should have been frozen throughout the period. Let everybody come and present his case. So nobody should now do what we call multi-decking,
Okay.
So that, because that's also security concerns. If, for example, the Konkoso is going to Kaduna, and he is a man of the people. Yes. People will go there, whether he mobilizes them or not, whether he can hold them or not, people will mobilize. And if you were to go on that Monday itself, another political candidate will organize a rally on that day. What does that mean?
Prof, this is the first time, honestly, I'm getting this perspective, because we've spoken to many people who accuse, or rather said, Konkoso accused the conveners, Professor Ango Abdullahi, Dr. Hakim Abane,
that's not
Audu Obe, and the rest, that they have already compromised. They had a preferred candidate.
No, we have personally.
Okay.
If you check my records, on the record of Senator Rabi Musa Konkoso, and the record of all the people that now manage the party or manage the presidential activity, we are people who respect the system. We respect elders. We have no reason. I am basically a Kaduna man. I made much of my career in Kaduna, so I know the system. What is happening here in the Arewa House, most of the activity, I was part of it. Okay, so we know ourselves, they know us, and they know what we can do and what we cannot do. And they know that they cannot tell us, Al-Kali will come and say, Ango Abdullah is irrelevant, this person is relevant. It's not possible.
You trust them.
But again, it's part of the propaganda. This is a trap.
Okay.
Yeah. So that if objective one cannot be achieved, then we move to the next objective. If the objective was to bring Konkoso and then by default endorse a candidate, it did not happen. Now let's push it back to us. That we are disrespectful. It's part of politics now. Now that's will be the argument. But the point must be understood by Nigerians is that if there was any plan to endorse any candidate on that day, yes, it will be backfired. That one did not happen. If there was no plan, so be it. But if there was plan, that plan could not failed.
But is there any regret that you didn't go there? Because other candidates went and showcased their policy.
It's very good. But also remember, like I said, these are our leaders, these are our elders, and definitely at the appropriate time, we are going to reach out to them. As in every day, we are talking to them. We are talking to the various leadership groups. And in any case, what is our gain if we now ostracize ourselves? There's no gain. But like I said, in this digital environment that we have, digital communication system, every information is vital and important. And that nobody, because you just invite us to come and present a manifesto, present our blueprint, present our ideas, without jump and come and begin to talk anyhow and say anything, without looking at the environment, the political environment. Yeah? Nobody will be allow himself to have a rope tied to his neck and be dragged And NNPP is a party standing on its own. It's not an appendage of any political party. Just like any other political party is going to canvass for vote, we are canvassing for vote, and we know that we have the base in this country. So we have very close relationship with virtually all the leaders of the organization. They know us, we have deep respect for them. But whether some of them know or not, there was that feeling. And that cannot happen just a feeling. I don't want to disclose everything, okay? So whatever the case may be, we took the decision that, yes, it is better off, on balance, not to go. On balance. Whatever the advantages, the disadvantages, how outweigh the advantages at that particular time.
Do you think it will affect you in any way, your party?
Positively, yes.
Oh, positively?
Yes, it will affect the positively.
As how? But you didn't go there to say anything. For instance, like Atiku, when he went there, he said he was going to re-energize the economy, maybe the issue of refinery privatization and all that. But at the same time, there was a backlash, this allegation that he said he's the northern candidate, they should go for him. So what is your take on...
Now you are saying something. You have answered your question.
No problem. I want you to say something.
No, you have answered your question.
Now, are you satisfied with some of...
Assuming that every candidate who goes there will say he's a northern candidate, what does that mean? Does it mean that we are not going to need the votes of other parts of the country? Is Senator Konkoso a northern candidate? You see? If he was contesting for governorship of Kano, yes, he was a Kano candidate. If he was contesting for prime minister or premier of northern Nigeria, he's a northern candidate. But we are not running a parliamentary system. We are running a presidential system. There is no room for premier of northern Nigeria. We have gotten one of the most colorful premiers of northern Nigeria, Ahmadu Bello or Biles Momari. Now we are running a presidential system. So any presidential candidate that is contesting for election is for the entire Nigeria. So assuming we also go and say, okay, we are not for North, or we are for South, or we are for
Even though
Central.
his team denied it, that what he said was
I would not like you to drag me into that
context.
controversy. Since that statement was made, if you notice, NNPP did not issue one statement on that. We didn't say anything.
But why?
Why should we bother ourselves?
It's politics season.
No.
Prof.
The time to talk about it will come, but not now. What is important is that, assuming we talk that as this, why didn't you come and talk there? I reply. But his own presentation was a day earlier on Sunday. On Monday, we are supposed to go for Konkoso to go and face the teams. And then on that same day, a presidential candidate was organizing a rally in Kaduna at that. So assuming that I think you could say everything is choreographed.
Wow.
But like I said, some of our leaders may have no hand in this kind of thing at all.
Yeah, and that is the question I wanted to ask
what
you.
What is important is that in politics, everything counts.
Everything counts.
Everything is important. Small details are important.
Yeah.
So what somebody takes for granted as not an important thing, a politician worth his salt must also interrogate it. Go into it deeper. Why? Ask this why, when, and how, and who. You must answer this question. That's the only way you can be able to get to the point.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, Senator Rabi Musa Konkoso is a man who respects the system, the ulamas, the clergies, the emirs, the chiefs, everybody, the leaders of the various influential groups. There is none that we are not going to go to them and present our case at the appropriate time.
But do you think regional leaders will play any role? Will they change the thinking of the electorate? Do they have that steam to influence voter decision?
Let me put it in a different way.
Okay.
Assuming you want to give birth, you want to marry your daughter, you can have an invitation card. That invitation card has three purposes.
Okay.
One is to inform. 2, to invite. 3, to seek for support and assistance and prayers.
Okay. 3 reasons.
3 reasons, at least minimum. So it's the same thing. As no leader, no anybody who can stand for election will not go to even the lowest position. Lowest councillor is very important. A party chairman at the world level is important. Everybody is important. A roadside mechanic is important. A cobbler is important. Blacksmiths, everyone. So if these people are important, because either they are going to be affected by your policies, or they are also going to be useful for elections, then you cannot ignore them. So what more of leaders and elders, some of them who have been part of governance for a long time. So everybody is important.
Okay.
So first and foremost, you must discharge the responsibility and say that I am here, I am contesting for it. If you don't go to them, then they will say, we didn't know you are contesting for election.
So what can we do for you?
So I think that's one. Secondly, when you go, you're also seeking their, you're asking them to join you or to join you directly. Yeah? And some can join. Because somebody will say, nobody even came to me to seek my support. I'm going to support you, openly or subliminally. Or the alternative is that, look, I'm not going to join you, but I'm going to pray for you.
Yes.
So in politics, everything is important. Everybody is important. And there's no way people like Senator Rabi Musa Konkoso will now say that, that he will not talk to anybody. He will talk to everybody. He has been talking to everybody. And it's a continuous process, but everything has a level, a layer, and based on timing and strategic planning.
You are doing things differently of sorts. We've received some messages,
yes.
Text messages, letters from Nigerians that are getting agitated by this name-dropping factor. For instance, one of the presidential candidates, he went to Kano, and during his audience with clerics, they came with a checklist, and then he ticked them, and at the end of the day, there was this story that they have endorsed him. Do you think this is really good for the polity?
Who endorsed who?
Well, it was Tinubu during his conversation with Tijaniya sect in Kano. They asked him, they wanted, is it education, issue of security and all that, and he promised that he will deliver. And they purportedly said, okay, you have our votes.
Now you have come back to the point. You are saying that this happened in Kano.
In Kano, your major constituency.
Well, Nigeria is a whole constituency.
Sure.
So now, if again this privatization of loyalty, you know, yes,
this is another definition.
It's a privatization of loyalty because you are going to see somebody, no leader, indeed ulamas, whoever they are, whatever sect, will at this hour come openly and endorse somebody. They will maintain dignified silence. They will continue to study the situation. They will continue to read everybody.
Okay.
But politicians also want to take away what you call the takeaways after every engagement. What are the takeaways? What can we say to gain some mileage? And that's what you call the privatization of this loyalty. Somebody has, without giving the loyalty, you want to privatize it and own him and then say he's and at the end of it, it goes back to the same thing. That is element. I'm not speaking to any person or any person. I'm just talking about any politician that pursued that line. This is just further evidence of desperation. Nigerians know what they want. The reality is that Alhaji Hamza, let's tell ourselves the truth.
Okay.
Who will deny today in this country, 2022 at October, who will deny that the Nigerian economy is not what it's supposed to be? Who will deny that the security situation in this country, despite all the effort of the federal government, with all the commitment, who will deny that this is not the best of security situation we ought to have? Who will deny that the market condition in Nigeria today, they are in their worst level? We are moving as if into the German economy before the Second World War, where every day you go to the market, you have to go with extra cash to buy the same thing, less than what you bought yesterday.
The value every day.
Who will deny that our students have been out of classroom for the past 8 years, going 9 months, 8 months, 9 months? Who will deny that people are committing suicide because of desperation, because of anger, because of bitterness, because of poor condition of life? Who will deny that the Nigerian image today is not the best in the whole world? Other countries, yes. We are not comparing ourselves with the B class or D class or C class. We are talking about the A class.
Okay, assuming nobody will deny this.
No. Let's go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to say, how different are you, NNPP?
Now, if you do not deny this, if you do not deny that, you mean there is need for
assuming everybody accepts that, okay, we have these issues.
Not everybody. We are posing who will deny. We said that the question is that once you know that there are problems, there is need for solutions.
Yes.
Now, but you cannot use the same method in solving a problem, repeatedly get the different answers.
You have a different formula in NNPP?
Of course, yeah. Why should we waste our time and leave the PDP, leave APC, and spend building a party from this level to from where?
Scratch.
No, not scratch. But I'm saying that building the party, as it were, to this level, it was because we are anxious about our country. It's not about ourselves. Even Rabi Musa Kongoso, when he started inviting people to come and sit down, he was not talking about presidency of Nigeria. He was just anxious that there is no way the level of division in this country is unprecedented. There have been division in the past. There's ethnic issues in the past. Nobody will deny that. There are religious issues. Yes. No? There are regional issues. But the level, the intensity, and the dimension is unprecedented. That is part of it. People are calling for a division of this country. People are calling for secession. Just like that. They want to divide this country as if it is a birthday cake. You can put a knife and divide it and people can take their own share and go home. Is this how a country can be run?
But curious locals are saying all the political parties are the same, because when you come, you say, okay, security. But the question is, how do you tackle it?
With all sense of responsibility.
Yes, Prof.
There is Hamza Idris. Even if there is another person called Hamza Idris, it cannot be the same thing as you. This house where we are seated here, the Trust, long before Trust came in, there were so many newspapers in the country.
Yeah.
So many television stations in the country. So many radio stations in the country. But it came at the beginning of this century that we are talking about.
And it makes a difference.
And in less than a quarter of a century, it has changed the dynamics. Who will again, to come back to what I said, deny that Trust today is not an important actor in Nigerian media?
Thank you very much for the compliment.
Who will deny that?
But for the politicians.
No, so what I'm saying that
yes.
you cannot say Sen. Rabi Musa Konkoso is the same thing as this man, That's not fair. I cannot say that NNPP is the same thing as A, B, C, D, because we are all political parties. Yes, by definition we are political parties, but everyone has his own ideas, ideals, visions, missions, objectives. We are passionate about our country. Most of us will not even have bothered to go into politics at this hour, but we felt that if we keep quiet, there will be time when if we talk, nobody will listen to us. By that time, it's too late, because they will say, you sat down and watched things happening, and you never said anything. And I mentioned that before.
Yeah.
This has been said repeatedly. When you see a problem, try to do something with your hand to change it. If you cannot change it with your hand, use your mouth to change it, or use your heart. I believe the fact is that you must use three of them. Use your hand, use your mouth, use your heart to change things. So whatever we are doing it for our own children and grandchildren. And I do believe that Nigeria and Nigerians deserve better than where we are. You may not know this because maybe me and you have not traveled out of this country for a long time. But let me tell you, when you try to move out of this country with the Nigerian passport,
yes,
you'll be wondering what kind of reception you'll be receiving.
Oh my God.
When similar countries will be working shoulder to shoulder to the imperial powers, they will give you tagging us. Either we are the country with the highest insecurity problem, we are the country with the poverty, we are the country with AIDS. We are
different indexes.
And then every dress they sew for us, we take it and wear it and say, yes, we are the poverty capital of Nigeria, of the world. Is it true? Things are bad, really bad. But we should know we are addressed to us by people outside this country. We should agree with our failures and our limitations and weaknesses, but we should also know our level vis-a-vis other countries of the world. We are not where we are supposed to be completely. But what I'm saying here is that...
Yes, people believe that you have fine ideas and all that, but you are very ambitious. I mean, the NNPP. There are some who are suggesting that, okay, why not limit your expectation? Get Kano, get Katsina, get Jigawa, then make things happen by changing the existing order so that by next election season, you can now extend the frontier.
I'm surprised you are saying this.
People are saying, not me.
No, for me, I'm talking to you and you're talking to me.
All right, Prof, I agree.
Okay, when I meet the people, I will answer them, but now I'm talking to you. And that is part of again is the profiling.
Okay.
Whenever a new idea comes, remember historically, every idea that comes up that is great there will be a lot of opposition to it. There's a lot of rejection. No? There is this kind of, what is different, like you've been keeping saying, what is different, what is there they can offer. Now, but remember, sir, in 1998,
yes,
people look at the military government at that time. They said they want democracy. And everybody stood up and said, we want democracy. And even the military government accepted it. And now, if those people who did not stand up to say they wanted civilian government or democratic government, will you have democratic government now?
Very unlikely.
But at the time they said it, some of them were saying that why are they wasting their time? Nobody will listen to them. Some of them risked their lives.
Okay.
Okay? Now when it went well, people now are enjoying democracy, at least in some form of it, our own variant of democracy.
Yeah.
This all is,
imperfections. Yeah.
Now, in 2014, when one of the political parties started forgetting how it started, started losing its focus, another political party emerged from nowhere. People are saying that no,
the NPDP,
they say that it's a
NNPP,
consumption. Yeah. They say that it's a merger of strange bedfellows or whatever, and nobody gives them a chance that they can form a party. They form a party. Nobody gave them a chance they are going to get a national convention to produce a president. They produce one. Nobody gave them a chance to win election. They won election. So every time you're underestimating them, they are making progress, and that's why we are stuck in this place. So it's the same attitude that you underestimate an idea that comes from the heart of people who are genuinely concerned, who are tenaciously concerned about the future of the country. You say this is not important, let's go to, then why should you go to Kano or Jigawa? Why not let me say, you tell me to go back to my village, to go and contest for councillorship, so that's my own level. Yeah?
Not really.
because what I'm saying is, Haji Hamza, is that first and foremost, democracy is a question of choice.
Yeah.
It's a question of choice. This thing that we are playing with, other countries are not getting it. For example, look at Palestine. They don't even have a country they can call their own.
Wow.
They are all struggling up to now. Every day there is killing, mass killings. So for them to have a country first before they can talk about democracy. Now remember some of this country that we are here now, we are not under democracy before. We are not even under military. We were under colonial administration, colonial rule. But people stood up against them to chase them away. If they had not fought, up to now this country will be under colonial rule.
Yeah.
At any given point in time, people must rise up and say, this is not good enough for our community and society. But at that time when you are doing it, people will say, give you names, say that you are wasting your time, you should go and manage your children and grandchildren at home, so that the thing continue as they are used to doing it. Because if you be given a problem to solve, and then you have spent many years, you have not solved it, and you want somebody to give you additional time, what is the basis for that one? What is the basis for that one? What is the justification? What is the excuse? What is the evidence that even if given extension of time, whether it is extra level, there's evidence that it will work? Or you want to return the other masters of the game,
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that Nigerians are tired.
Okay, even if you say that you believe in what happened ahead of 1999, and then the change we had ahead of 2015, there is also this question that your candidate, you have to start somewhere.
Thank you very much.
The whole country is your ambition, but you have to start somewhere. And Kano is seen as the base of NNPP, because the candidate came here.
I think Sir Hamza.
Let me learn, Prof.
No, you have already landed.
No, I didn't.
You have.
I'm yet to prove that in 2019, when there was about to be shift of power, you gave a big fight. Konkoso gave a big fight in Kano. But at the end of the day, of course, it didn't work out because the APC had its way.
Senator Konkoso is not contesting for
No. He put his candidate, and he was actually the umbrella there. But now, the whole Nigeria is his umbrella. Gombe,
Not
Adamawa.
umbrella is the constituency. Umbrella
Okay,
is
constituency. Is the euphoria
of
the
another political
PDP.
party. Yes.
Fine. Okay, all these states now. And there is this fear that even Kano will slip away from his hand because it may not get the desired attention from him.
I'm a bit worried that we are fixated to this position. I think.
No, you admire us. We're asking the questions they are asking.
Yeah, what I'm saying that we should go beyond this.
Okay.
I think we have passed the phase of saying the NNPP is a regional political party, or our presidential candidate is a local regional presidential candidate. We have passed that phase long time. And I think it's very good, very important that people come to terms with this.
But how can
How is that people have to open their hearts and people have to open their minds and see the realities. Okay?
Okay.
That's it. And the reality is that Nigeria designed genuine change. This genuine change. I posed some questions, and I thought that those questions are now the one that will guide every Nigerian to make his decision.
Okay.
That if you know that those things that we are mentioning, that you cannot deny them. So, do you want to endorse them? Do you want those things to continue? So, irrespective, because it is Nigerian that elect a leader. The choice is now before them.
Yeah.
They have seen what was happening in the past. They have seen what is happening today. And they can also begin to answer what is going to happen in case there's any mistake in 2023. So, until a few months ago, there was this notion that there is no alternative to what is happening, the old orthodoxy.
Yeah.
You either choose, it's like what they call the Hobson choice. You commit an offense, then they say, okay, what do you want? We cut your hand or you cut your leg?
Oh my God. A very difficult choice.
So that was where we were before the emergence of NNPP. Either we cut your hand or you cut your leg. Now you don't need to cut your hand, don't need to cut your leg. This is the way, this is the path to follow. That there was a time there was no feeling that there's no option whatsoever.
Yeah.
Therefore, you are just stuck, and it's just like to say that we are stuck with a situation where we cannot do anything with our hand, with our mouth, with our heart. We cannot do anything. We have to allow it to go on auto. And then we sit down in the comfort of our homes and condemn government, condemn the system, abuse leaders. Is that the purpose? Why should you waste your time abusing leaders now? The option is go and do something. And we are doing something. So if anybody thinks that NNPP is a regional party or is a
NNPP, Labour, Imagine, we call you emerging political parties. But this
every political party is emerging because parties are dynamic.
Okay,
they are not static.
APC, PDP, they claim that they have representation in all the political worlds across Nigeria.
But it don't happen overnight. It happens over a period of time.
But then what gives you the hope, the courage that you will checkmate them and displace them?
It is not me. It is not me or you or Congress or no. It is Nigerians themselves will have to make a decision. Do they want to continue what is happening or they want something better? If they want to continue what is happening, then this is where we are headed. If they want something better, then the hope is offered to them, opportunity offered to them, that they cannot go and complain and cry that there is no option. There is an option now. If there is no option, no option. There was no option, then you are stuck. But I'm repeating myself that what we are doing is that we are offering Nigerians something different, something fresh, something new. And by the time we unfold some of our program activity, the picture will become...
Nigerians are really eager to see this. Now, when we keep maybe APC, PDP aside, we have 16, including yours.
Yeah.
How different?
Why do you define?
Yes, because they have been tested.
No,
they have been tested to some extent.
They have been tested.
Yes. So what mileage do you think you have ahead of the remaining 16?
Well, I think the most important thing is that first, in the coming election, the integrity of the leader is primary.
Okay, the integrity
of the leader.
Yes.
And the integrity and then his pedigree. Okay. His integrity. Somebody who can stand anywhere. And then you want to say something about him and you don't find anything. You know? The pedigree, what that person has done in the past when he had the opportunity to serve at various levels. Nigerians are very much aware of what happened in the past. Everybody who's contesting for any position today in this country, Nigerians have a clear picture of what they have done. But they may not have the details, but they have an idea that this person is somebody who is a performer. Then you also need somebody who is a bridge builder.
Okay.
Because in the process of looking at the antecedent of the leaders, you look at some of them did not plan that they are going to one day contest for presidential elections. When they were doing it at their own local level, they are not looking beyond their nose.
And now it will be their albatross. The last question I want to ask you, Prof, is which you should answer in just 30 seconds.
30 seconds is good enough.
Yes. Why do you attract academic, should I say that? Because there are many PhDs and all that in your party. I do think they will make a difference. Nigeria will accept them?
I don't understand.
Yes, you have many PhDs. Because during one of our visits in Kano, one of our editors here, you know, the leadership, PhD holders, and all that. They are not politicians.
No. Again,
you're also a professor.
Again, that's the tragedy of our society.
Okay.
This is a very big tragedy. I just mentioned to you that everybody is important in politics. Everybody has his own role to play. And therefore, first and foremost, let's separate these two issues. Intellectual, in the NNPP, you have intellectuals, you have businessmen, you have media executives, you have
well-read people.
Everybody, not necessarily well-read. We are saying that people who come from different backgrounds in this country, from every tribe, from every ethnic group, from every, so it's a melting pot for everybody.
But they are mostly not politicians. So will they convince Nigerians?
Again, we want the other opponents to continue believing that these people are not politicians. We want them to believe that. The second one you must have met in Kano are people who have been trained by Senator Rabi Musa Konkoso. First, when he was a governor, later, when even he left as a governor, even as a minister, as a senator, he kept on training doctors, pharmacists, airline captains, you know, educationists, everything, and not only from Kano, but from every part of the country. Right now, there is a program he has been sponsoring. 4 candidates from every state of the federation, 4, and giving them scholarship for undergraduate program, postgraduate program, and he's funding them.
So you believe this will give you an edge in a world? Yes.
No, what we are saying is that, look, what do we need in this country? We need somebody who will deliver.
Okay.
Somebody who will give us hope. Somebody who will protect us. Somebody who will say he is going to do, he is going to do.
All right,
somebody who is going to sleep before you sleep.
All right.
Not going to sleep
Thank
before
you very much, Prof. I can see you have more and more to say, but time not on our side.
Thank you very much.
We thank you for coming, and we hope you will come next time. Viewers, we've been with Professor Rufai Alkali, the National Chairman of NNPP, and I hope you enjoyed the program, and this is where we wrap it up for today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting edition. For now, I am Hamza Idris. Bye-bye.